I love maths. Maths is so fun with Mr Nunn and my flowery shirts. What are we learning today? Well, today we're going to learn about Roman numerals.
Yay!
Hooray! But first, let's look at my shirt, because today this is my Christmas present from my wife, who's called Mrs Nunn, and she bought me this shirt from White Stuff, I believe, for Christmas, and it's a lovely shirt, so thank you, Mrs Nunn, love you very much. Mwah. Back to Roman numerals. Now, you children are learning about Roman numerals because of an education secretary called Mr Gove, who thought it would be invaluable in your lifetime ahead. So thank you, Mr Gove. It's a really invaluable thing to learn. But you do need it for SATs, so here we go. Roman numerals are basically a different way of writing numbers. They were devised by the Romans, and instead of using numbers, they use letters. So let's look at some of the equivalent letters and numbers. There's only 7 of them. So an I equals 1, a V equals 5, an X equals 10, an L equals 50, C equals 100, D equals 500, and M equals 1000. Now, you pretty much have to learn those. There's no kind of easy method. There's a few clues there, isn't there? C is for century, 100 years, so that's 100. M for millennium, 1,000 years again. So there's kind of little clues there, but you do need to learn your letters. Now, once you've learnt them, you can start making up numbers. So say, for example, you want to write the number 15. You take the big, that's going to be a 10 and a 5, and you take the biggest one first, so you put the X, which is the 10, and the V for the 5. So that equals 15. Let's do another one. How about the number 8? Well, that's going to be a 5 plus 3 ones. So it's going to be the biggest one, B, 1, 1, 1, equals 8. Let's go for a slightly bigger one. How about 1006? Well, it's going to be 1000 and a 5 and a 6. So we go M, 1000, and V, and a 1. So that's 1006. All straightforward so far. However, what you can do is you can use the letters to take away another letter, which makes your number smaller. Let me give you an example. If you want to know for the number 4, rather than write it I, instead you write it IV, which means 1 less than 5. If the 1 was after the V, it would be 5 plus the 1. Because it's 1 before the V, that means it equals 4. In the same way, if you want the number 40, you can use 50, and then put a 10, an X, before the L, which means 10 less than 50. And then if you want 900, say for example, you could have M for 1000, and put a C before it. It's 100 less than 1000, which is 900. Okay, let's look at a few numbers. So, if I want to write the number, let me think, 673. Let's have a look how I'd write that. So I'm going to start with my 500, D. We want another 100 to make it up to 600. We do C. Then we want an L for 50. We've got 2 10s. And then we need 3 I's. So it's quite a long way of writing, and that's perhaps why our system is a sort of more efficient method. You're looking at kind of up to about 8 digits there for what we would use as a 3-digit number. Let's look at one more. Let's look at 79. Okay, so we're looking at L for 50. We can add 2 10s on, makes 70, and then for the 9, we're going to put an I before an X, and we get 79. Okay, I'm going to give you a couple for you to solve at home now. So I'll pause the video and you can have a go and see whether you can solve these. So let's have a look at this. What do you think this number is going to be? X, X, 1, V, or IV. And can you change this number, 146, into Roman numerals? So I'd like you to convert that into numbers and convert that into Roman numerals. Okay, pause your video and off you go. Pause. On pause. Okay, so hopefully the first one, XXIV, you've got X and X is 20, V is the 5, but you've got a 1 before the 5, so that makes it 4, so that equals 24. For 146, you're going to need a C for 100. And for 40, that's 10 less than 50. So rather than 4 X's, you'd put X, L. So that's 140. 6, you need a V for 5 and an I for the 1. So you've got 146. Brilliant. So now you know your Roman numerals. You can sleep tight at night and you can say, Maths is so fun with Mr Nunn and my flowery shirts. That's enough today.